Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McKola. We are back for transfers live, and today we have got so much to get stuck into. We've got confirmation on when RAPHAEL VARANE, as you can see on the screen right now, will be in Manchester for his medical. Obviously, he'll have to quarantine and all those kind of things, so it will take a little bit of time to get him ready and in training, but he is going to be flying into Manchester, and we've heard that now. We've also got updates in the last 24 hours on Paul Pogba's future, which are a little bit conflicting. Jerome Boateng's been linked with a free move to Manchester United, which Fabrizio Romano has brought us an update on as well. We've got CAMAVINGA talk, Saul. We'll be talking about him too. We've got loads to be getting stuck into here today, even a little bit on Andreas Pereira as well. So make sure you're keeping it locked to Stretford Paddock. Now, as you can see, today I'm on my own. I got no Cam, I got no Callum, so I'll be fiddling with all the graphics by myself. So things may not change, things may change. You know, just bear with me while we're here. But we got loads to get into. I can see your comments right there as well. We got Jordan Amore. We got people talking about people needing poos in the comments, which I don't get what's going on right now. But that's the kind of madness we have over here on Stretford Paddock in the comments. And then you've got some serious comments as well about Mino Raiola and from Tariq saying he doesn't trust him. So we'll be getting stuck into Paul Pogba's future soon. But first, as I said, we have an update on RAPHAEL VARANE. We don't really need updates anymore. We know he's going to be a Manchester United player. But RAPHAEL VARANE is planning to fly to Manchester from Madrid on Monday. We saw videos of him today released by Real Madrid of him saying his farewells to the club, to Florentino Perez, to everyone associated there. You know what? Yeah, you very rarely see players treated like that by Real Madrid when they're on their way out. So you can tell he was someone special. And for him to reject their contract negotiations and want to leave, I mean, do you remember what they did to Iker Casillas? Absolutely forced him out the door. So, you know, it's quite surprising to see a player treated like that by Real Madrid. But we got to see him saying his farewells to Real Madrid. Now he's flying into Manchester. He's going to quarantine. He's going to do his medical. All that good stuff. And then the deal will be completed next week. RAPHAEL VARANE is said to be buzzing, which means he's already fitting in with the Manchester lingo, to sign as soon as possible. His contract is up until June 2025 and an option until June 2026. But we all knew that already. So get that in your comments below. What you're thinking about RAPHAEL VARANE and Maguire as a partnership as well. Let us know. Champions League VARANE is coming, says VSG. How much are we finally paying him? Says Munish. I assume this is about RAPHAEL VARANE. The reports are that we're paying him around €250,000 per week, which is around £200,000. And you know what? For someone of the quality of RAPHAEL VARANE, for a player in his peak, for this probably being his last big contract, it's a pretty good move for Manchester United. You know, I know we're helped by the fact that his contract was expiring at Madrid. He was on around 120 grand a week there, which is not a lot for a player of his caliber. And United to come in, double his wages. I think it's a good deal for United. It's a great deal for him. And Manchester United have got one of the best defenders about in the team, alongside another man that we know is one of the best defenders about as well. I think over the last 6 to 12 months, despite some of the doubts that we've had about him, including myself, I think Harry Maguire has shown that he's a fantastic player, and him and Varane could be something special. And what I like is RAPHAEL Varane's the A side. I think that will help Harry Maguire flourish even more, because it takes a little bit of the pressure off him. And that's not a dig at Harry Maguire, but you know, RAPHAEL VARANE is obviously the A side in this defence. So yeah, great to see RAPHAEL Varane's move coming to a close there, and him seeing all his goodbyes. Danny Shields says, Adam, did you see the quarantine rules change from Monday for vaccinated people coming in from Spain? Varane might not have to quarantine at all. So do you think that's why, thank you for the super chat by the way, do you think that's why he's delayed his travel over here? Because if he travelled over here now, the quarantine rules are different. I obviously haven't looked into the quarantine rules, so I'm not going to go in too much on that. But maybe that's why they've waited until Monday for him to fly over. Because I've been thinking while doing this video and while reading this news that why wouldn't he just come today? You know, why wouldn't he just fly over yesterday or whatever? But maybe that makes sense. We had a change of the rules and he's just going to come out then. It's murder when Varane scores is in the comments as well. That's been stuck in my head absolutely all day long. Absolute great chant, to be fair. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Which one should we go with next? Let's look at this Jerome Boateng one because it's a pretty easy one to deal with, isn't it? Manchester United are not considering a move for Jerome Boateng, and he's not joining Hertha Berlin or PSV this summer. Jerome Boateng will pick his club in the next few days, and he's not in a rush. Now, because of the news about, well, not the news, but rumours about Eric Bailly potentially leaving. Eric Bailly potentially, you know, joining another club because we've signed Varane, because he's dropped down the pecking order, etc. Victor Lindelof has been linked with a move to Barcelona as well, which is a surprise to me. It'd be a surprise to many, but nevertheless, he's been linked with a move to Barcelona. And you think with Varane coming in, one or two of those defenders will start thinking, But I think Oli wants to keep all four of them. Bailly, Lindelof, Varane, Maguire. That's a good four to have. You send Mengi and Twanzebe out on loan. Let them get the experience that they need. Jerome Boateng coming in as a 4th, 5th choice centre-back. Alright, it would be alright, yeah. I wouldn't really be that fussed about it. But it's not happening, is it? And I think Fabrizio coming out and nipping that one in the bud did us all a favour, really, because it means we don't have to talk about it anymore, which is good. Anyway, moving on. And we have heard again that Manchester United are in direct contact with CAMAVINGA. Now, we've heard this a lot. We hear this constantly. United are in direct contact with CAMAVINGA. We've also heard that we've called up about Saul Niguez as well. Now, obviously, some reports say that this depends on Paul Pogba's future. Other reports say it doesn't depend on Paul Pogba's future. Now, the calibre of that midfielder that we get may, you know, having an extra £50 million or whatever if Pogba leaves this summer could help you reinvest in another midfielder. But I'd like to think United could be in the market for CAMAVINGA regardless of Pogba's future, because as we know, he could play in that 6th position and he could become a top quality 6 with a little bit more experience, a little bit more playing time, and he's already a top quality player who can play in a number of positions in that midfield. So CAMAVINGA would be a great choice. Decent price you can get him for as well. We've already seen United have been quite smart in their business this transfer window. And he's someone that would be able to get, you know, Rennes aren't going to be that difficult of a team to have to negotiate with. But the problem with CAMAVINGA is we know that he potentially could want to move to PSG. Does that change if Pogba goes to PSG? Then CAMAVINGA could come to United. You know, United probably don't want to allow Pogba to go to PSG. So then does that stop us getting CAMAVINGA? Also, CAMAVINGA wanting to move to stay in France, or there's been talk about a move to Real Madrid as well. He seems to like the idea of those moves. So you could potentially see him wait around for a move there. United become a latter option, and we make a bid late in the window where Rennes want to take some money for him. So we'll have to wait and see on this one. But it's good to hear that we are potentially still in direct contact with CAMAVINGA, because as we know, he's a fantastic player and he's one for the future as well. As I said, we've also apparently called up Saul, which has given our man Johnny the chance to use Better Call Saul in the graphic. Reports claim that Manchester United have made telephone inquiries over the transfer of Saul Niguez. Telephone inquiries. Sounds funny, doesn't it? How does that go down? Hi, is this Let's Go Madrid? Oh, you got through to the ticket office. Can you put me through to the transfer department, please? I want to know how much Saul is. Does it go down like that? I'm not too sure. I'm sure United would have been in negotiations or would have shown some interest in Saul at some point. He's a top quality midfielder. He's apparently available for a snip of the price tag we were hearing about a year or two ago. 60 million euros, 50 million euros you could potentially get him at now, which is an absolute bargain for him. Atletico Madrid seem to be in a position where they're open to sell him a little bit more. They want to free up some money to bring in Antoine Griezmann potentially. And Saul is one of those players they could sell He has been linked with Liverpool and a couple of other clubs as well. Is he one of those that United have tagged down as a replacement for Pogba rather than someone that will come in to go alongside Pogba? Because I'm sure United have two lists of midfielders. You know, we hear constant rumours that we want a midfielder regardless of Pogba's future. So we probably have a list there which is, who can we bring in now? Maybe we need to sell a few, Dalot, Pereira, Lingard, whoever, to raise the funds for one of them. But then we must have a list of, if Pogba goes and we free up this much amount from the wage bill and we've got this transfer fee, what big names could we go for? And I feel like Saul probably falls into that category more than this category, if you get what I'm saying. But that's the latest on the midfielders that we've been linked with. Guys, get hitting that like button, please. Get subscribing, get commenting, get sharing. Mike Hill says, I'm shocked we're not in for Locatelli. Now, I think Locatelli's a fantastic player. He's an absolutely fantastic player. But he has been linked with Juventus for an awfully long time. And you do feel like he's probably destined to go there. Christopher Singh also has a super chat with Where's Ray Bobbins, Paul Rancast and John Shin. We'll try and get some of them on the channel soon. You know, I love all of those guys that you mentioned, so we're always happy to have them on. Shane says, could we hijack City's bid for Grealish if Pogba wants to leave? It looks like Grealish has got that decision to make this week. Someone said Grealish ain't worth £100 million. In my opinion, Grealish is worth £100 million. He's an absolutely fantastic player, one of the best players in the Premier League. I would love him to come to Manchester United. I've been clear about that consistently. But it looks like he's either going to go to Manchester City or stay at Aston Villa. We don't look like we're in the market for him. It looks like that ship sailed. Maybe if Pogba would have left a year or so ago, or Villa would have got relegated and it would have been an easier deal to make. Maybe we would have got him instead of Donny van der Beek. But yeah, I'd be gutted to see him join Manchester City. There's a few more that have said Grealish is not worth £100 million, but I disagree with that. Miles says, say it with me, Yves Basuma. And someone else says, buy him now. I think they're talking about Jack Grealish. I'd love Jack Grealish to end up at Man United, but it doesn't look like it's meant to be. Anyway, moving on from that, where do we go next? What graphics have I got lined up next? Let me see. I think we're on to the main story now, to be totally honest with you. Yes, we are. Paul Pogba and the conflicting reports. So we've had numerous reports about Paul Pogba, that he's been in talks with Paris Saint-Germain. He's been in talks with Manchester United. He could potentially leave United this summer. He could potentially leave United next summer on a free. We could potentially sign a new deal this summer. We could potentially sell him. We hear all these different things, but in the last couple of 24 hours, we've seen pictures of him with David Beckham. We've seen him on a FaceTime with RAPHAEL VARANE. And we've heard from Sky that Paul Pogba can see a long-term future at Manchester United. But it doesn't mean he will commit to a contract extension this summer. He's very excited about the direction of the club following the signings of Jadon Sancho and RAPHAEL VARANE. He loves Manchester United, but he's also aware that this is his last big contract of his career, which is fair enough. If he doesn't sign a new contract this summer, it doesn't necessarily mean he won't sign a new contract before it expires. Talks between Manchester United and Paul Pogba's representatives over a new contract are ongoing. Whilst the talks are live, there is still possibility that he signs a new deal. He knows he will have more options if he sits tight. It should be reiterated that one of those options is to sign a new contract at Manchester United. Now, if this isn't a money issue, I can totally understand Paul Pogba thinking, let me see what's like, because I want to win trophies. He maybe hasn't won the trophies he would have wanted to over the last couple of years. And you can understand him feeling, over the last couple of years, United haven't really bought to compete. Now we are doing that. And maybe he's thinking, this is great. I want to stay. But he's waiting it out, maybe for a bumper contract, whatever. But is it just down to our intent? Is he looking to see what we're doing elsewhere in the transfer market? Or is this just part of contract negotiations? And as I said, Paul Pogba is, you know, a global superstar in terms of marketing, in terms of his status as an athlete, as a sportsman. You know, these contract negotiations are always going to take time. Now, the one thing that I've said is if he doesn't sign a contract this summer, sell him. And this doesn't really changed that for me, you know. Yes, I want Pogba to stay, and I understand how we could see things from his perspective. But United also have to protect themselves. And we could end up being in a position where we lose him on a free again and we're made to look like clowns. Now, Ollie might think, you know what? I'd rather keep Pogba for a year with this great squad that I've got, try and win everything. You know, maybe he decides to stay, then take 40 odd million pounds, 50 million pounds for him. And I get it. But we could potentially then just sell him and like someone said, try and get Jack Grealish or someone like that. Now, it's probably unrealistic, but there is that. So, you know what? I'm not going to lie. The last couple of days, the reports that I've been reading and hearing about Paul Pogba, there was even one in MEN which was that his partner is really settled in the area. Their kids are settled, etc., etc. And there's a lot of things which make you think he's probably going to sign a new deal. He's probably going to sign a new deal. And these are just part of the negotiations. And I would love that to happen. But I just don't want Man United to end up looking stupid again and having to replace a player and we've let him go for free. So, I don't know. David says, Adam loved the kickoff clip up. Phillips would be an upgrade. I think Phillips would be a good signing as well. The kickoff best bits video, if you don't know, that's what he's talking about. From the season on the kickoff is pretty good. It's pretty funny. I don't know how I let football get me that way sometimes. Baffler Son says, Pogba either signs on an extension or we sell him. We can't allow him to hold us at ransom and leave for free. Clubs should be strong and let him rot in the reserves if no new contract signature. You see, as well, this could be just part of the negotiations. Because like you say, we can't allow him to hold us at ransom and leave for free. So does that mean United then just give him the contract that he wants before the window closes? That could just end up happening, do you know what I mean? I'd love to see him stay, especially with the squad that we're building. But like you guys are saying in the comments, we can't be held to ransom. We can't just allow one player to dictate things. As much as I can understand him wanting to look out for his career and success and all that, going to France ain't doing nothing. Stay at United, hustle. Let's win something. Let's win something. Look at the team we're building. Imagine helping United win their first league title in, 8-9 years or whatever it's going to be. That means something. Helping PSG win a league title means fuck all. You don't even support them. You've said it before. You don't support them and you wouldn't go there. So now you go there. Going back to Juventus. Why? Fuck Real Madrid. Stay at United. Help us win our first league title in God knows how long. Help us win the Champions League again. Look how long it's been. 13 years. Go down as a legend. He's a great player. He's one of the best players that I've seen play for United. But at the moment, he won't go down as a legend. And it's up to him to have to write his name into that history books and do that. And just winning the Europa League and a League Cup ain't going to cut it. That's the challenge for him. And hopefully, he meets it face on and stays at Man United. Because we could have a great team, man. Anyway, let us know what you're thinking in the comments below. Make sure you liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. Let's have a quick browse to see if anything's broken while I've been on here. Let's have a look. Gary Neville is being tipped for a future political career after holding talks with Keir Starmer. Oh, God. On that note, seeing a bit. Keir fucking Starmer. What a clown. See you later.